Welcome to Beauty Business Matters. I'm your host, Susan Routledge, and this is our second episode with the phenomenal Shari Teigman. If you haven't watched the first episode, please go back and watch that first. But what Shari and I are going to talk about, well, first of all, if you haven't watched it, Shari is one of the UK's top coaches and business mentors, and just all around awesome person. And in this episode, what we decided we're going to talk about is what we wish to have known when we first started. So welcome back, Shari.
Thank you. I'm going to come here every Monday for these compliments, I have to say. Morning, Susan.
I'm just absolutely loving it. So, right. I mean, see, we're in different industries. I'm the beauty industry. You're all over everybody.
Every industry.
Every industry. Shall we start with you? What's the biggest stumbling block you see from someone maybe starting a business?
Yeah. So I think the biggest stumbling block, and one I suffered from early on and for lots of years in the early years, was understanding that my skill did not equal my belief that I could build a business. So just because I was good at what I did, I've always been a people helper. So I couldn't understand that something I did so naturally could then be a career. So I undercharged and I overgave and I got into the friend zone. I didn't come out like a business person. I came out in the proving, will they like me, people-pleasing way. And it took me probably 4 or 5 years to get really out of that loop. The people who paid me were ones who didn't know me for years. Everyone who got used to me, my chat was filled with conversations. Shari, can I just pick your brain? I'm like, there's nothing left of my brain. You're all picking it to bits like pigeons. But putting those boundaries in place of like, this is an actual business. And while it's natural for me, it's my gift. And I need to put parameters around that so that the people that I actually work with get more of me. I don't want to answer a deep question while running to a train and, with my kids while I'm making dinner. I wasn't respecting the work and I wasn't respecting myself enough, ironically, in my overgiving. And I think it's a very, very common problem we see, especially in service-based businesses, where we just want to help people with what we do. We're not running around selling Hoovers. We're not looking at the metrics all the time. We're in the helping industries, and it's hard to remember that overworking is not always the right thing. It's generally not the right thing, but where we draw that line is a very hard thing for people. I'd say throughout, especially at the beginning, but happens as you get bigger too. Careful what you wish for. You've got the clients now and you don't have any boundaries or structure.
I think the thing that happens in my industry is obviously someone goes and trains, then you need to practice.
Yes.
So then you've got like your friends and family that you're working on, and then it's then flipping that into a business.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's then your friends and family, whether or not like they still want the mates rates kind of thing. But then we were talking about this earlier on, I literally speak to salon owners who have got 25 plus years in like industry experience behind them, yet they are still charging the same as when they first came out of college and what someone who's walking out of college now is charging. Yeah. And that is just totally a mindset shift to start to realise your expertise. And that's, like we were saying earlier on, I think that's a lot of what I do, just teach people and show people that they can charge their worth. And because as well, you would have been doing this as very much at the beginning as well. You alienate certain people, because, Shari, I know obviously you charge a great amount for what you do, but which is like the value still far exceeds that. But if you were charging a fifth of that, you wouldn't have the clients that you've got.
I've had this before. I've had people come up to me. Actually happened to me last year. I spoke at an American conference. There was actually a British client of mine was holding a retreat in New York, and she had me come speak at the retreat. And she had someone else from America, a name I heard, a marketing guy, but I didn't know him. And we met, and he sat in the room. He spoke after me, so he sat in the room and heard my talk. And afterwards, he came up to me. He's like, "Why don't I know who you are?" So I said, "I don't know." So I said, "I'm mostly based in the UK." He's like, I'm angry about it. I said, what do you mean? He said, I was looking for someone last year, and because you weren't in the price point I was looking in, I didn't know about you, and you are the person for me. And it was a big, even still, after all this time and what I do every day, I was like, oh, it's now my choice to decide what to do with that, because I don't want to just throw zeros on the end. That's just not my way, and it doesn't go with integrity for me. But it was really interesting. People are like, oh no, that's not what happens. Of course it's what happens. That's how we shop. You don't walk into Aldi expecting Waitrose food. You don't walk into M&S think you're going to Harrods. Like, it's just a different, society has trained us a certain way. It's unfortunate that we think money equals value. It doesn't always. But if we don't step up and meet that halfway, why would someone go to a salon where they're charging a quarter of the price and you've got the best talent there, but nobody believes it? Because how would they have been found out? It's a really frustrating piece, because I think a lot of people do it both out of fear, but also humility. Like, I'm happy with what I have, which is wonderful to be happy with what you have. But this is look, none of us are charging our worth. As you said, we're all priceless. This is not, I'm worth this amount of money, put a quarter in and I shake because you put the money in. That's not the case. But there's a value and energetic exchange when I feel proud of the work I put out and I'm not jaded and exhausted. Yeah. And you and I are investing in each other for a reason, that if you pay that money, you get all of me.
Yeah.
It's not a discounted thing and a friend zone thing. Then it gets so uncomfortable and actually ruins relationships, ironically. I mean, how many people do those mates rates and then resent their friends for coming and taking time slots in that chair?
But ruins business as well. Normally when I get to speak to a salon owner, it's normally when they're at the point of they've had enough. Yeah. And a lot of that is because they've just had enough of not charging what they should be charging. Yeah. And you can do it for so long, but then it starts to become resentful.
Yes.
Like, you know,
I also see, because I've worked with a few salon owners, they don't know that that's what the problem is. They'll say, I'm just done with it. I've been in the industry too long. And then you start to pick and you realize the pricing, the communication, the boundaries are not there. So they wouldn't know where to start in fixing it. So all they want to do is sell it or give it away.
Yeah.
And step away from all their hard work, just because they couldn't diagnose or admit that that's the problem, which is heartbreaking.
And one of the other things is as well, I always like see that, you know, you've got a salon owner who has been, say, in the industry for 25 years, but not only just charging what everybody else, but the rest of the team. So that they've got someone who has just walked out of college, and in that business, they're still charging the same as what that person is, or someone who's got 2 years experience opposed to them as the salon owner. And then they'll say, but I'm the busiest. I'm always the busiest. Well, of course, anyone's going to want the top person in
for
the
same
business
price.
for the
I'll
same
go.
price.
Tell me the names of them before you fix
to say,
it.
like, and always that you're never going to change that. Plus, put on top of that, you're not really doing a service to the rest of your team either, because you're blocking them from growing because the clients all want you.
And you're also modeling what this looks like. In 30 years, you'll be in the exact same place and making the same money and have to take care of other people. Yeah. And it's heartbreaking. So I'm curious to ask you a question, if that's okay. For the salon owners, do you think it's a humility thing? Do you think it's just a common belief to do it, or they just absolutely don't realize they're doing it?
I think it is that they don't believe that they can charge their worth. And I see this all the time. And they don't want to be different to the rest of the team.
Yes.
And I'm like, you've got to be.
They want you to be.
Yeah.
And like Nick will always say, every problem is a leadership problem. So like if you model good, they'll do good. If you model overworking, jaded, and exhausted, it's exactly what you're going to get from the whole team. Why is everyone so angry? Have you looked in the mirror? You're showing them what this looks like.
But, and as well, I'll speak to they'll lose one key figure in their business. Right. And I was like, say, just wait, what'll happen is someone else will step up. And you'll find that like someone's been suppressing someone else all the way. And once that key person steps out, which is like always feels devastating at the time, someone else steps up. Yes. And it's and they can then flourish.
Yeah. And I think another like big theme on this is what we're talking about is a lot of what we both do is give people permission that they can't give themselves. So if I was starting out, or what I wish I could say to younger me when I started is give yourself permission to I don't want to say the fluffy dream big, but to understand what you want and why, because then you can go get it. If you don't understand why and it's just metrics on a spreadsheet or someone told you could have it, it's not internally driven yet. It's not a factor you could say, am I capable? What skills do I need? And go get them so the belief can go with the skill. Otherwise, we just learn things and our belief stays in the back seat and never comes forward. There's never going to be a time someone's going to crown themselves and be like, okay, now I've overworked to the point that I'm ready to change the whole model, not work on everything, hand everything off. That's unfortunately not the way it works.
This episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsor, Forest Salon Software. I'm especially delighted about this partnership because I've known CEO of Forest, Ronan Percival, for over 12 years, and he was also the first guest on this podcast. The Forest story began with a genuine love for the salon industry, and their passion for helping businesses thrive is what makes them such a great synergy and such a great fit for this show. They bring so much energy and enthusiasm to helping and supporting salons. And as part of this partnership, they are offering an exclusive deal for our listeners. It's a huge 50% off Forest Salon Software for the first 6 months. It's an incredible saving, especially in today's climate, and a great way for your business to stay focused and strong for 2025 and beyond. If you'd like to take advantage of the offer, simply check out the sign-up link in the show notes and be sure to mention the podcast when you speak to their fantastic team. And thanks to Forest Software, and now back to our incredible episode. We're taking time off though as well, to me, is just crucial. Being out in fresh air, being like just where you can think. But again, it's just like this mentality of like you've got to be in the business and doing things all the time kind of thing. And it's just counterproductive, even whether it's just you yourself or whether you've got a team.
There's been times and seasons where I'm the worst boss to myself. Like if I worked for someone else, they would never treat me like this.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
11 o'clock at night on my laptop, like what warrior is behind you with a stick against your head? Like, what are you doing? We get caught up. Our brains work very fast. Our creativity comes. We power through. We have big ideas we want to put in the world. But if we are not the machine who can do it, it doesn't matter how big the dream is. You're just going to be devastated by the little bits exhausting you because you burn out. You know, burnout is such a big thing for entrepreneurs for a reason. It's not cliche. It is cliche. I wish it wasn't cliche and true. It's cliche and true is we treat ourselves as though we are machines instead of humans. And our better ideas come when we're away from the floor or away from the laptop. Space in other industries, doing other things. All of my ideas come when I'm not sitting at my laptop. Why am I sitting at my laptop thinking they're going to come? In the shower, in the queue in the supermarket, like everywhere else but where I think it's going to come. Oh, I have an idea. In the shower, running in a towel to go quickly write something down. It's space. We don't give ourselves the bandwidth.
Yeah, I
or
always
the
like
permission.
say that. Make sure you've got a notebook all the time, because the thing is, like a good idea never comes at the time when
It's so true.
you want.
And then it flies right out the window if you don't catch it.
Yeah.
And I think people don't give themselves time to creatively play either. It's just problem solving, or I only think when I have to. That's terrible for your brain. It's terrible for your nervous system. And it's awful for your business.
Well, I'm woo-woo like this, where I just think that, you're never going to solve a problem by looking at a problem. There's always a solution to it. And you've got to look at the solution or think of where you can take it or what you can learn from this. Because just looking at what's in the bank and dwelling on it and going over and over it, like to me, I firmly believe in laws of attraction. And it's just going to gel and there's going to be more of it.
You want panic? I'll give you more panic. You got 4 cancellations that day. You keep staring at that number.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But someone like, but I can't. I've got to solve it. And you solve it with the solution, not with the...
And the energy in which they're looking at the problem is not the place to solve it. So you're bringing such frenetic anxiety to the solution. Even if it's a nice plaster on top, it's never going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
You're going to create it again because you need the problem. That's the hard part is people don't realize we operate by energy. We don't operate by problem solution. Problem solution is just, I don't want on my tombstone, she was really good at to-do lists. Like that's not really an impact to have, on myself or the world. Just because I got everything done.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's how we run. That's how we're taught.
Another thing is as well, because someone will look for like for things to go wrong, and they'll be like, I knew they were going to do
Yes,
that. And I'd be, yeah, because you said that.
You waited for it. You laid the red carpet out for it.
Just go in and just look for all the lovely things in your business. Look at all the things. Look for things to say thank you about. It's like, to start with, they'll look at it as if like, are you crazy? Yeah. But the thing is that the more you look for good things, the more good things that are going to come to you.
Absolutely.
Just, yeah.
It's so simple, and it's so hard when you're in the opposite thinking. And it's switching that. So like you can say that to a client and they're like, I'm so glad that works for you, Susan. I don't know how to do that. I live in a world where I live month to month, and I'm scared every time the month starts again, who's going to book, who's not going to book. And the grip of control leaves no room. So that's another thing I wish old me knew was the more you control it, the less it will grow. It's the opposite of what anyone thinks about business.
Yeah.
You need to give it room to show itself.
Yeah.
Even the bad stuff that doesn't work. It's good. Show it to me. I don't want another client like that. Let me go all the way in and find out why I don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to work totally different with my clients now, where originally, like, because I'm known for like business turnaround and everything, now I'm very much working it back to like getting that vision of what you want first, and then getting clarity, and then we'll look at strategy.
Yeah, where are you running to?
Yeah, because otherwise you starting to put strategies in place and trying to fix things that, like, when you've got a big hole that's already broken.
Exactly. I won't look there. I'm going to make a new pretty picture over here.
Yeah. Do you find that all the time?
Every single day of my life. Because we're driven for the adrenaline and the excitement of a new idea, then we think we're going to show up differently. When we're sat with old problems, the old version of us is looking at it. So it's very hard for them to envision it. But like you just beautifully said, if they don't have the vision, they don't know what they want anyway. So they just keep trying to grind the same thing so that they can feel a different level of achievement. It's not possible.
Yeah. And in my industry, it'll be like, I need more clients. I'm like, no, you need to look after the ones that you've had.
Exactly. Then, every industry needs that.
And then the next thing is, they need a new piece of equipment. I'm like, no, we've got lots of pieces of equipment
that are already not used optimally. And again, it's because something from the outside will save me from the inside. And also subconsciously, they know they created part of that problem. So they want a new problem, thinking they'll be different in relation to the new problem, the new equipment, a new customer. I let that one down, but a new one I'll be better with. They won't be.
So how do you teach people to like start to change what you do? Is it them having a different morning routine, or is it how do you do it? So
I love the big ideas of really looking at the energy they put into it. And yet they'll still go in every day and do the same thing, because it's nice to think about it with my journal in the morning. And then I go and create a train wreck at the end of the day. I go home and tell you my 5 gratitudes. So to me, we have to look at our habits. And I always crack up when someone says, I'm not good with habits. I'm like, oh, yes, you are. You're just great with bad ones, but you master them like a mofo. Like, don't worry. You're very good at them. You just don't know how to change them. So I always do positive, negative, because like you said earlier, everyone always goes to the negative. They'll give you a long list, but when you ask them what they want, they'll just, crickets, and they won't say anything. So what's working great in the business? And they'll rattle off a couple of things and say, well, what do you think needs help? And then you get the whole list. And I say, okay, great. Well, there's 3 things on one side and 45 things on the other side. Very balanced. And I say, if you could change one thing, what would you bring over from the not working to the working? So they'll bring over a couple of things. And what I try to help people do is see the themes in what's not working and working, saying, okay, well, actually, when we look at these, it sounds like team is doing really well when you're not in the way. And they're like, oh, yeah. So I'm taking them above the problem, above the solution, and into the theme. So you're really good with people. You're terrible with time management. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a time thing. I'm like, all 5 of the things that were the problem are all time bound. Other people's schedules or deadlines for things. And so once I see a theme, it doesn't feel personal. It's not, I broke my business, here's my list of shame. It's, let's lean on your strengths. Where do you need support? What are you not great at? I'm not a detail person by nature. So you put a spreadsheet in front of me, I'll use it probably improperly. Like, there are better people for this.
Exactly the same.
Of course you are. You're a creative. So it's like, I can do it for you, but I'm going to hate every second of it. And I'm not going to do it as well as someone who weirdly likes this stuff. So then I identify the holes of where either support or hires come in. Now, a lot of my clients are solopreneurs without teams. So I make them make these lists. I'll call it a red, amber, green list. What do you want to do all day long on this list? And we highlight it. What can you do but you don't like it? And what do you never want to touch again? And immediately before we make the list, but I don't have anyone working for me. I said, I didn't ask you if you have anyone working for me. I first have to identify what you like and don't like. And then the panic comes like, I don't know. I said, I know. That's why we have to start here. And it's why people don't use team well, because they'll either get a repeat of themselves in the business as a mini me, or they'll get someone who they can't communicate with because they're so different than them. I said, if you don't know what the business needs from you, you won't know how to hire out what you can't do and shouldn't be doing. So very task practical. And then all the emotional stuff comes up. Because then let's say we make a list and some clients will say, I know exactly what I want to do. I don't want to do any of that. And then they panic. They go, but it's not my business anymore then. And then we've got to work through the emotions of them being needed in the business or being overly busy, or who am I if I'm not working? What do I do if I take a day off? What do I do with my guilt? Then we work on the identity. On the flip side, someone may find out they don't actually know a lot about their business. They know about what they love doing in the business, but they don't run a business well. So then we do some business basics, or what would they need in place so that, basic stuff, so that they don't feel like their passion is working for the business and then it's not actually translating into turnover or happy customers or anything like that. So it's really helping them identify their stuff that has imprinted on the business through the lens of the business. They'll either know the answer or not, but we can find it. If I start with them most of the time on this sort of stuff, they'll tell me they fight with their mother and their husband and my business is fine. So we can't change anything. So everyone wants their business to do well. They don't necessarily want to heal relationships that they have to own. So if we want to work on the business, we start with, where are your habits in the business? Where are your automatic go-tos? Some people get overly busy. Some people go numb and pull away, or they start folding towels, or they start playing on Canva to make a new logo. So let's see where the habits play out. Where do you land when you get overwhelmed? I didn't even know I do all of this, which is just fascinating. We can all identify it in each other, but not in ourselves. Yeah. We're in it.
Yeah, that's it. Because you're not looking at yourself, though, are you? You're just getting on and grinding on, and it's all on my shoulders. And we like this responsibility. We are the crazy people who opened our own business. It's our own fault that we do this to ourselves. Nobody else did it to us. And we don't know how to function in it. Do you find that once they've identified that they quite actively go for paid help? Because what I find is that it'll be like, but they charge £40 an hour. And I'm like, they can do what you do in an hour. Correct. What you can do in a day.
Yes. So I'll say, how many hours have you spent on that crying over that one thing? 3 days. I'm like, well, that's very expensive given that you are £80 an hour and they're £40 an hour and can do it in 3 hours. I never thought of that like that. I said, of course you didn't. We don't think like that. So what I find, either they hire quickly and they don't know how to delegate, or they start trying to be more efficient on their own. And then they'll come back to me in 3 weeks like, okay, tell me what I need to do, because I tried it. First we identify it, and then it's everywhere they see, like, oh my God, this problem is everywhere. And I had no idea it was there. Now it all makes sense. Sometimes I need to sit in the pain of it a little bit longer before they're willing to fix it.
But do they normally take it on board?
Oh, I mean, always take it on board, because I'm not there.
You're not telling them.
And I'm not telling them. They're telling me, and I'm showing them what they told me. So would I sometimes like to just tell them all the time, Susan? I'm like, can we just save this long exploration and I'll just tell you what the problem is, then you'll go fix it and we'll both win. I've got to get them to see it. Otherwise, they won't lose trust in me. They'll lose trust in themselves. And it's like, like I'm telling them off, which I'm not. So if I take the time to show them and identify it, and then they'll link, when that person's in, I work better with them. Like, why didn't I realize that? And I'd like to fast forward it, but they need the processing time to then go in the next day and look at everyone in a different lens. Or I have clients who've had very beautifully, employees have been with them from the beginning. It is such a mess. Because they have a whole different set of rules. They get a whole different version of that person than anyone else in the business.
And that person's normally been promoted to
45 times. They don't do anything. Everyone works for them.
Same job, different role.
Exactly. They're director of a department they don't know anything about. I'm like, okay, so I'm not saying go in and clean out, but we have to look at relationships. We have to look at habits. We have to look at where we hide. We have to look at where we shine. Why wouldn't we want to look there? All this extra efforting for no reason. I will still work as hard, but I'll get so much more for it. I'll be in the right place.
I think when it isn't put in place, it does over time. When you're saying about someone working for a long time, what I found in my business and also in other businesses, when that structure hasn't been defined, is that it gets to like the 10, 12 years point, and then it's where the person, the employee, the part of the team, feel like they are indispensable.
Absolutely. Even when they don't do a lot of work. Yeah. I've been here since the beginning.
Yeah. And it gets to the point as well where the business owner as well started to rely on them because they've sort of brought themselves up to knowing as much about the business and everything like that.
And remembering when we had that problem, and remembering when we first started.
And then you've got all the times that you go out and all this kind. So there's the friendship thing that comes in, and it's I've studied this many times over the years as well, and obviously now you can see it very early on.
Yes, but
you'll find that like when that split starts to happen, the employee or member of the team will start and cause conflict to break away.
Yeah.
And
or they start collecting other team members to be on their side. It's heartbreaking. Yeah. Because it actually ruins friendships. If they addressed it early, they could keep the friendship and stop this, but it's so entangled. It's like a divorce.
As if like it's gone along so long and then it just has to break to make change kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen that so many times, and it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
So now, like, obviously try and identify it very early on and make those changes, because I think, you know, in my industry, because it's, you know, most businesses are small.
Yes.
You know, yes, I work with somewhere they've got like 40 employees, but in general, it's a small, maybe it's either a solo or just 4 or 5 employees, maybe it's more. And it is very hard to not make that like a family feel.
And it's part of the wonderful thing about the industry is it is a family feeling, and you have people doing similar jobs next to each other. It's not like in a corporation, everyone knows their role. You will pick up and help someone. You should.
Yeah.
You would want that to happen, but it gets so entangled. And it's heartbreaking because really good businesses break from lack of identities and understanding of roles in a business where there's not a business problem. It's a people problem.
Yeah, totally.
And communication.
Yeah. And once that's identified, it just goes into perfect harmony. It's lovely.
Like released.
Yeah.
People feel valued again. I think that's another piece is no one teaches us when you go in our own business. It's a very humbling start for all of us to then look at our own value in our business on repeat. It feels very egotistical to check in, do I feel valued? But that's you speaking to your business model. Like, am I working for the business or is the business working for me? And I don't think a lot of people ask that question.
Totally, yeah. And I think a lot of people
should.
Got it, yeah.
Let's start with that.
But again, though, it's the fear of the answer, isn't it?
Absolutely. If I don't know the question, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't unsee it once you ask me that.
So is that when the tears come?
Oh, yeah. Ironically, I always get upset. The tears come when I'm not expecting, like, no, I have one waiting for you. Like, the tears will come on something early on because there's such buildup of not having a place to say any of this or having a lot of yes people around you in your business that you couldn't really be honest. The tears come sometimes at places I would never think because the coding is starting to crack and they just don't even know what the problem is. It's their own bubbling up fear and frustration and overwhelm that why do I work so hard and I can't get anywhere? I could just mention family and they'll start crying because they know they're not prioritizing them and it breaks their heart. I wasn't even up to that.
Yeah. I mean, early on, I can remember doing that. Where,
of course.
You know, you've missed family birthdays and things because you work, and I can always remember when I first stepped out of the business as well. You know, clients can be very controlling in some ways,
very much.
Because you know what, well, first of all, when I first started my business, I was like freelancing. And then it just got out to the point where I couldn't physically carry on. So I thought, right, I need to get some premises. Of course, all the clients were like, we'll not be able to come. And I was thinking, oh, wow, I've built this business up and I'm going to lose it all. Of course, they all did.
And if they didn't, new owners would come. This is a huge one that I really want people to hear. We think we build the next strategy for our current customers. We don't. They already have bad habits with us. Like if we want to grow, they either come with us or new ones will understand the new structure. But I hear it all the time. My clients aren't going to like that. I'm like, you're not building your business for your clients. Like, what do you mean? I said, you serve your clients from your business. But if the business doesn't work, you won't have any customers anyway. If they are ruling what happens, and I love my clients, don't get me wrong, but if then I have 50 bad bosses, no thank you, who are telling me when to show up, when you don't work on Fridays. Oh, you work on Fridays because I need something done on a Friday. Then now I work on Fridays. Like the game gets flipped. You're no longer the expert. And then they don't actually get what they want. You want someone sitting down in a chair and telling you how to do their hair? No.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. I have said that before.
Yeah.
My makeup chair was interesting. I want natural. No, you want to look like a drag queen. So which one is it? I'll do what you want, but let's just talk honestly about what you actually want.
Totally.
It was pre-Pinterest days. I couldn't show a picture, Some supermodel they're never going to look like, So we have to guide them and have the boundary to say our customers do not build our business. Our business serves our customers when it's built properly. Otherwise, it's on sticks and your customers will break it happily.
Yeah, I always say clients, they don't want products, they don't want treatments. What they want is an expert who's going to guide them and you're going to for you to find out exactly what they want or think they want, build that around a plan. And,
exactly.
But it gets back to like, clients booked in for this treatment, that treatment, it's in, out. It's just, it's never.
They didn't buy any product. I can't imagine why they didn't buy any product. You didn't tell them what they needed. Now they go home and undo all the work you did.
Yeah.
It's a fear thing. And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. The thing is as well, because like, I hear all these different excuses as well, like we don't sell many products because clients like to buy online and things. That they've got to actually go home,
remember the name of it,
put everything, all their details in, get the card out, pay for it, where you could quite easily have just given them that product and given it. But
humans, our customers should train us. They're very bold, right? Do you think the industry is changing? We talked about it earlier, like technology. Do you feel the beauty industry gets scared of that? Like I'm watching all the industries react to this. I'm curious your thoughts on this coming.
AI, I've always been fascinated with AI. And now I love working with Marnie. And, we're doing a course that's going to go out for salon owners because... what I do, I'll only work with experts who, to me, an expert's somebody who gets up, that's what they do all day long, live and breathe it. And because AI to me is changing all the time as well. So I love Marnie because every time I speak to her, she's on something else.
She's unbelievable.
And we did some great stuff when we were over in Malaga and the members in Beauty Directors Club who've actually implemented what she's taught us. It's making such a difference to systems, to retail sales. That's and everything great. Like that. But I think there's always a fear. And I can always remember years and years ago going to an event and it was all about AI and what was going to come. And this is like years before, like, when they were talking about driverless cars and all these things. And I was like thinking, this is never going to happen. Well, of course it is. And all about these jobs that were going to be going and things. And I can remember writing an article then about, are we going to get replaced by robots? And now, I mean, you can have your lashes done with a robot. You can have a massage with a robot. But, I'm very fortunate that because I've always had this fascination, I've been invited to some like AI dinners where like there's been some really high up people in AI talking. And one I went to, there was only about 20 of us there, and we ended up having a huge conversation about AI and how it was going to influence the beauty industry. And out of it all, what came out was that we are going to be the safe ones, because the more things turn around to AI and automations, it's going to be where people are craving that human
I agree.
touch,
I think we're on the horseshoe on the other side. Those of us who work with people will want it so much more because they'll get everything else done for them.
I think we see that as well with in-person events.
Absolutely.
I think now people, I run some network events and people love being together. It's.
I think also we're still post-COVID where people still are excited. Like, oh, I get to go somewhere. It hasn't worn off yet.
I know.
I do love my pajamas at home, but I also like to go out and be with my people.
I mean, during COVID, it was such a huge thing for my industry because we were closed for so long.
Yes.
But it did give a lot of people the permission to get out of the industry. It gave a lot of people to change careers. So although it was like a terrible time, I think as entrepreneurs, it gave us a time to like do that stop, reset.
And innovate and check in.
Which like obviously when you run at 500 miles an hour, you just don't get to do, and all of a sudden the world stopped. Who would ever think? And you had to recreate, you had to rethink, and I know I do panels as well with some of our members in Beauty Directors Club, and one of our members, Rebecca, she doubled her business in COVID because what she was doing was she was just doing videos, which she'd never ever done
She
before.
wouldn't have even taken the time.
Incredible. People just wanted to see someone, and she used to just do all of our cleanse and everything.
Wow.
And massively grew our business and still carried that on. But I think it made everyone a little bit more innovative as well.
Which I called it, I mean, people didn't like this, I called it the year of the Maverick. Everyone had to face their stuff. Yeah. Everyone had to figure out who they were to who. I mean, the divorce, I was like, oh, everyone's going to have babies. I'm like, are you crazy? Everyone's going to get divorced. They're all going to be locked in a house together. You're going to find out if you really like your people. But I think people really took stock of where they spend their time, where they spend their money, what they're doing with their passions, and whether they changed it or not, I still feel like we're in the backlash of that, which is a good thing for the people who went deeper in and making the world more confusing for people who didn't. But I think AI, just like you do, is an opportunity for the connected people to go deeper if used. Avoiding it's not going to help anyone. And it does great things. It isn't going to replace us. I'd love to do all the things I don't like doing. Here's my list. Figure it out. Marnie.
I know Marnie's been teaching us how to make it like your second brain. And that is just such a difference, isn't it? And
absolutely.
It's like, the thing is that like, otherwise it's just a different entity.
Correct.
Giving you some opinions.
Yeah, and I don't need any more opinions in my head.
Now, we are going to be speaking together soon, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I can't wait. The flight's all booked.
Yeah. So we are you are speaking about stopping hiding behind your skill.
Yes, I am.
Do you want to give a little taster of what you're going to be talking about?
Yes. So I'm going to be talking about, because in this beautiful industry, you have extremely skilled people who have an extremely hard time growing a business, charging what they should charge, standing above anyone else. And while I'm not asking anyone to be egotistical, we're really going to dive into like the neuroscience of this. How do our brains get like this? Where do we get caught? Where do these stories come from? Because we all want the growth and we want the success, but something's stopping us. So for me, when I can help someone understand how they got here, it's a lot easier to change it. And it's not changing anyone's mind. It's just helping understand what happens behind the scenes in why do I start and then self-sabotage? Why do I want it and then not want it? And how do we make a choice that works better for us? Even if it's in small micro moves, some people quantum leap. Either way's fine. It's just kind of releasing ourselves from our own cages is the goal of what we're going to do in that room, to give people another option of how to understand how they operate so they can choose a different operating system.
Oh, I love that.
It's going to be exciting.
Very, very good.
I can't wait. What are you speaking about at the summit?
I am speaking about charging your worth and long-term booking.
Amazing.
So We've got we've got Marnie speaking
Yes.
as well about AI. We've got Paul speaking about WhatsApp marketing.
He's the best.
Yeah, and I can't think what else. Arif speaking about
Oh, I love Arif.
Arif speaking about sales and marketing. So yeah, it's going to be
Oh, it's
a
amazing.
fantastic day.
I can't wait
So
for it.
yeah,
I'm honored to be included.
Yeah, so we'll
Better do my hair so no one's looking at me like she needs a haircut. I'm getting my hair done before.
You wouldn't want to start doing your hair, but
Who knows? Everyone, you all know my wrinkles, all of it. And we come with a mask on. No, I will be who I am.
It's going to be a great day. And as well, in the first episode, we spoke about something that you're releasing, which is your new journal. So hopefully we'll have it at this event.
Hopefully
won't
we'll
we?
have it at the event.
So anyone who hasn't heard the first episode, go
Yes.
to the end where we're talking about the planner journal that Shari has done, which I just can't wait to get my hands on.
I can't wait to hand it to you.
Shari, this has been, we could talk for hours.
Yes, we can.
And I have loved this, and I'm sure I'm going to get you back again as a guest
I loved
at
it
some
too.
point.
Anytime, I'm always happy to come and hang out with you, spend time in your genius. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And we put everything in the show notes.
Yes.
And thank you.
Thank you.